This quick video will show you how to cut and assemble our pre-cut Casper retractable screen door system. First, I want to go over the parts. The parts that you cut will be the housing, the side profile that has the full-length rubber magnet, our top track, and our bottom track. The other parts that you need in the assembly will be the door handles, the pull bar boots, and the end cap that has the bearing. The first thing you want to do is make sure that the housing is oriented in the correct way. You want the flat part of the housing on your cutting surface with the magnet facing towards you. Once the housing is oriented that way, the cutting is simple. You'll essentially measure from the opposing side. Once you get to where your door measurement is, you need to subtract 3/8 of an inch to account for the thickness of the end cap. Make your mark. Everything will be set up at that point for you just to make your cut. And make sure that your cutting blade is a non-ferrous metal cutting blade. You want to cut at a speed close to this. Once you make your cut, it's a good idea to bang those metal shavings out of the housing. Once that's done, your pull bar needs to come out of the housing. You can use a flathead screwdriver. Pull it out. Next, you want to install your Casper handles. There's a channel on each side of the pull bar that the housings fit in. And the Casper logo should be facing you when you install the handles. Slide in relatively easily. Once those are in, excuse me, you need to crimp your magnet on so that your magnet can't come out of that channel. And you want to cut 3/16 of an inch of the mesh mate off. And that's to account for the boots that you're going to install. So you want to get rid of it. Then your pull bar boots will install on both sides of your pull bar. They should fit in nice and snug on both sides. Now you're ready for the end cap. Important thing with the end cap is the bearing needs to go into our drive tube independently. There's little channels for this little piece of the bearing to fit in. Make sure that that fits in nice and easily. You don't want to force it in. And lastly, the end cap fits into the housing. There's a couple of little channels for the end cap pieces to fit into. Need to tap them in a little bit. And that's it. Once that's in, you should test the door. Make sure everything seems to be working properly. And set it aside. The next part will be cutting the side profile with the magnet. That's going to cut to the length of the height of the door and subtract just 1/8 of an inch. Take your measurement to the height of the door frame, subtract 1/8 of an inch, make your mark. and then make your cut. That's all that's needed with the side profile. Set it aside. And lastly, I'm going to cut the top and bottom track. On a single door screen, top and bottom track are cut 2 inches shorter than the width of the door. So say you have a 36-inch door frame, you make your measurements to 36 inches, subtract 2 inches to account for the housing. You can cut the top track and bottom track together. Cut them at the same time to the same exact width. And the last thing, but very important, is these brushes that fit into the top track and bottom track need to be crimped on. If you don't crimp them on, when the screen retracts, it'll pull the brushes into the housing and it'll jam it up. Once those brushes are crimped, you're ready to do the installation.